The clip that you're about to see, I do not own the rights to the audio. I do not own the rights to the video. However, it is just for educational purposes. All right. I do not own the rights to the audio in this that's following this clip, and I do not own the video or the audio. It is just for educational purposes. Let that be stated for the record.
So brought over here. Reflect on that, but also on how you have really wanted to bring Afro music, the Afrobeat, into a wider world. And you don't like the idea of world music, how it's called. I mean, you won your Grammys, but in the world category. What does that mean today?
Well, it means that we haven't learned yet that every music that we do today comes from Africa. We like it or not, that's just the simple fact and truth of it. It is true. Everywhere you turn, everywhere I turn as a musician, I've always found my continent in it, especially my country. Blues comes from the songs of the slave. The blue note has been created by the Africans. I mean, jazz has been created by African descendants. So for me, music is just what we are, the mixture that we are from the beginning. As a human being, we are mixed. There's no such a thing as a pure race. And I don't understand why supremacy is, because supremacy has to be a higher level of morality, a higher standard in life. It cannot be killing people. It cannot be hating people. Because you're talking about supremacy and hate, those things don't go together. So for me, Africans that came here, the African American didn't migrate here like the Irish, like any other people. They have been forced to come here. They have created the wealth of this country, and they have created the wealth of Europe. That's slavery. Today, we don't want to talk about it. We blame Africans for slavery. Of course, it comes as a business proposal to the king, and they thought it was going to be a good thing. The lie that had been told to them, they bought the lie, and here we are today. But to make a long story short, I think we ought to always think about the fact that the genesis of the crime committed for the rich country to come is in the blood and sweat of African people. And that model of slavery is also implemented in business, because we Africans are not free. They say we have independence. Which independence are you talking about? The raw material we have in our country, we don't define the price of the raw material. The price of oil is not decided by the leaders of Africa. We have the wealth, but the wealth is the hand of the Westerners still so far, with, of course, the help of our leaders that just really facilitate the job for them. So for me as a musician, what I say to people is, we that come from that painful story, how do we create a different narrative? How do we show the world that despite all the wrong that people have done to us, we are still human beings and we are still willing to create bonds between us? If we don't have the choice, we cannot live without each other. It does not matter what skin color you have. We have to live together. And it's something that I learn every day, especially when, as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, we go to villages. And you see all those kids suffering. When you face a child soldier, when you face a teenager that have been raped constantly in a conflict, and you have no words to touch them, and you start singing and you see a smile, that's the power of music. And it's something that makes me humble, makes me come to the core of it and say, as a human being, what do I have to bring?
So here we are, right? You just seen and heard this video. Now, once again, for me, I have nothing against Caucasians. I have nothing against Asians. I have nothing against Africans. But you see, this is the type of stuff that me personally, that I'm fighting and standing for. The legacy of my ancestors. All right. Now, you see on CNN, right? This sister from Africa, she gets to get on CNN to speak her truth based on what she's been taught, right? How is that you never see an American Aborigines, right? Whatever you want to call us, American Indian. How come you don't see us on CNN? How come you don't see us on these major news channels to tell the world our story? You see, it's always somebody else's story they want to mixed our story in. Oh, well, every music, even jazz and, and rhythm and blues came from Africa. No, it didn't. Every form of music did not come from Africa, because the people that were here were not slaves from Africa. But you see, that's what they taught y'all. You see, y'all don't realize it's another takeover. It's another grand scheme of another takeover of the American Aboriginal land. That's why there's an influx of African music all over the radio stations now. But you lost Negroes are going to continue to fall for the trick and the okie dokes every single time. Every single time. And that's why I say, for me, man, I don't need 1 million people. I don't need 10,000. I don't need 200. I just need enough. I don't care if it's 50. I don't care if it's 30. I don't care if it's 10. Enough of us who know who we are and are willing to stand for who we are. And leave the rest of y'all alone. You feel me? Because people are too blind. They are not seeing the truth. They are not seeing the infiltration of Africans. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they look like us, but that don't mean they are us. Typical example. Go look at Asians. When you look at an Asian, look at a Japanese, look at a Chinese, and look at a Korean. Don't they all look alike? But do they all call themselves Chinese? No, they don't. You never hear a Japanese say, well, I'm China, I'm from China. You never hear a Korean say, well, I'm Chinese, I'm from China, because we all look alike. No, because they know they are different people. You have different groups of Caucasians as well. Not every Caucasian is the same, because they know they're different. But all you lost Negroes, because you're dark skinned and they teach you from Africa. Oh, well, I guess you're dark skinned. Hey, I guess we all Africans. We are the only ones that teach that. Another thing. Oh, well, life originated in Africa. How come you don't hear Japanese call themselves Africans? How come you don't hear Caucasians call themselves Africans? Why is that? Oh, we all colored. Oh, the colored folks. Well, let me ask you, the last time I checked, didn't y'all think white was a color? So if black is a color, and what is white? And don't get me wrong, I know there is no such thing as white people and black people. And black and white are not even colors. The only reason why things appear black is because it is the absence of visible light. It is the absorption of visible light on the light spectrum. So it absorbs all the visible light on the light spectrum, on the wavelength of light. That's why it appears black. And things appear white because it reflects all the visible light on the wavelength of the light spectrum. So they are not colors, but they got y'all fooled and tricked. But just for conversation's sake, if you do think white and black are colors, and all you so-called black people call yourself colored, why is that when it comes to so-called white folks, they are not called colored? Maybe that might have gone over some of y'all heads. And people wonder why I do what I do, but sometimes it gets a little discouraging. You know what I'm saying? Because of stuff like this. And I want people just buy it. And I'm doing everything that I can, man. Everything that I can to open up your eyes, open up your minds, and let you see what it is. And I'm asking for your support. And it's just so hard to get support of the people that you hear trying to educate and enlighten and open up their minds and give them a chance to free themselves from mental slavery. But they support everything else. And you have to wonder why the Great Spirit, the Most High, Mother God, make things so hard for y'all. Because you know why? You make it hard for yourself. You make it hard for yourself. Here is this African woman. Yeah, she's African. She knows it. On CNN. All right? Get one of the largest news platforms to tell you that our music is theirs. Taking it right in front of your face. Okay? So they don't have to come here anymore with guns. They don't have to do that anymore. They don't have to team up with different nations of the world anymore, because they have the platforms. They got your mind. Your mind have been indoctrinated. So they're using the biggest weapon that you have against you, which is your mind. You feel me? And that Caucasian woman know damn well that that's not the truth. Why didn't she say, oh, well, rock and roll came from Africa? Because the white woman might have checked her. And when I say white, you know what I mean? The Caucasian woman might have checked her. But she had to take jazz. She had to take blues. When the truth of the matter is, all that came from the Americas. Even rock and roll came from the Americas. It is the hijack of the American Aborigines right in front of your face, and you can't see it. And y'all Negroes want to sit around and fight and argue and bicker and hate each other, not supporting the real cause or the real ones that's here standing up all day, every day, fighting on your behalf, working on your behalf, bringing the information. But you know what? I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to do what my ancestors brought me here for. I ain't mad. It's just the passion in my voice. I'm not frustrated. It's just the passion in my voice. That's what it is. The passion in me. That's what it is. But it's all right. Like I said, it's not going to take a million of us. If I could just get 1, 2, 3 other people who are willing to stand with me, that's all I need. All right? That's all I need. And you know what? I got it. I got it. So I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate, and I give thanks to the Great Spirit for that. I give thanks to my ancestors for that, because it's happening right in front of your faces. All right? You know, you have Pan-Africanists on all these major platforms. You know, you even have them promoting that we are Moors and all that. Nick Cannon and the likes. But they will never give a real American Aborigine a chance to come on their platform. You know why? Because they don't want the world to know the truth. They have to keep promoting and pushing the lies. That's what it is. But it's all right though. I know my ancestors. They're going to step in eventually. They are. But you know what? I give y'all the information. Do as you may with it. I'm opening up your eyes to the information. Do as you may with it. Because they want to give you this African pride. What happened to the American Aborigine pride? We've been here. We ain't come from Africa. How come they're not promoting that on all these major channels? Because the point is, if they could get each and every one of us to claim we are something else, then they get to claim what really matters, which is the soil, the land. Because us, the people, the American Aborigine, we and the soil are one. But if they could take you away from the soil, then they get to claim it. Every time a so-called black man or woman becomes aware or conscious, they want to put in a daishiki. A daishiki doesn't make you African. The same way wearing feathers doesn't make you an American Aborigine. That have to be in your heart. It has to be in your core, in your DNA. You feel me? It's an energy, it's a presence. And if it's not in you, then it's not you. Period. So once again, I'm getting ready to take a trip to Oklahoma. For those of you who want to support, man, listen, the Cash App is below. Because like I said, it is what it is. I'm out.